My name is Jarrod Saracco. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you today. I want to certainly give thanks to the Independent Gym Owners Conference and also the Retention Convention for having me out, for all of you making the effort to be here today, and certainly all of the vendors that have supported the initiative today. So thank you very much for having me. Before we get started, I know I'm supposed to tell you a little bit about myself. I don't like talking about myself, so I'll make it really quick because this is about you. As Dr. Paul said, I've been in the industry for a while, about 30 years. I know I don't look it, right? Really, really young. You're supposed to say yes to that. Very good. You get a prize. All right. And in that 30 years, I've done a lot of things. And it's always a privilege and an honor to be up here. I'm always humbled to do these things because it's not that I'm here because I have something great to teach you or I'm supposed to be better than you or I am you. I was a trainer. I was a club manager. I was a gym owner. I've been a vendor. And I've got a story to tell through my experiences that may help you today. And that's really why I'm here. So I hope through the presentation today you can leave here with one or two things that on Monday morning you can go back to your clubs, to your gyms, and put to work so that you can crush 2025. All right? So to do that, we're going to get started with a story. I like telling stories. I like talking about things maybe in nature or pop culture. I'll be honest with you, when I do international topics, I also try and learn the language. Yours is really tough. All right? So I may try and slide in a few phrases or words. Let me know how I do. All right? If I nail one, give it to me. So this really sets the tone. If you don't take anything else away from this presentation, pay attention to this story. Because the story of the monkey and the crocodile could change the way that you look at everything in your life, but especially your business. So here's Mr. Crocodile just minding his own business, doing what crocodiles do, right? They eat, they reproduce, they lay around. That's what they do. Now this guy's just sitting there sunning himself, minding his own business, and the monkey sees it and he goes, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I want to see what this guy's up to. So he grabs a stick, he runs down his little tree, and he goes over to the crocodile. He sneaks up behind him, jumps on his back, cracks him over the head with the stick, jumps back off. Crocodile doesn't move. He's like, that's cool. Pretty interesting. Not a lot going on there. Next day, he goes, I'm going to do the same thing. Tuesday, he comes on down, takes the same track down, comes the same way, sneaks up behind a crocodile, cracks him on the head again. Crocodile doesn't do a thing. He's like, this is fun. What's he do the next day? Same exact thing. Same tree, same path, same approach. He does this for 3 or 4 days in a row. Well, finally on the 5th day, he does the same thing. He comes down. He takes that same approach right as he goes to crack him on the head. Crocodile turns around and does what? Grabs him right on the butt. All right? It's a simple story, but there's a point to it. You can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect to get the same result. We know what that definition is, right? The definition of insanity, to continue to do the same thing over and 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 expect a different result over time. See, it's only a matter of time in your business that if you don't change or you don't grow, you're going to die. Now, whether it's by a crocodile or a competitor, whether it's economic conditions or a competitor, it could be any number of different things. It could be a predator, such as a crocodile. So you're at a critical crossroads, and that's why you're here today. You really have two options in today's world. We could say adapt or die or grow or die. How many of us have heard that phrase before? Right? Guys, that's why we're sitting in the audience today. We're here to learn and figure out what we need to do in order to grow our business to the next level. A lot of us still kind of coming out of that recovery mode. We're getting back to where we were. Some of us have done very, very well. Some of us have hit pre-pandemic numbers. Some are struggling to get back to those types of numbers. But here we are in December, getting ready to go into a new year. And what are you going to do to make it your best year ever? Are you going to continue to do the same thing as you did last year or the year before or the 10 years before the pandemic that maybe made you successful? Or are you ready to adapt strategic change in your business in order to grow and be successful. Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. How to implement strategic change. Because a lot of you are trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Well, I've expanded as much as I can, or I've added as many employees as I can. I can't take any more members. Does anybody have that problem? Are you capped with members? Okay, nobody here. Good. So you all want to grow, right? You need to add members to your business. So when you're sitting here today, whatever presentation you're in, this one, the retention convention, the gym owners conference, try and find that tidbit that helps you figure out what you're going to do to take your business to the next level. We're here to talk about strategic change. The title of this presentation is Your Club Needs Help, and so do you. And the reason why is many of us forget that we need help. We rely on ourselves. Sometimes we don't think we can go and ask people for help, right? A lot of guys, we kind of have that ego problem, right? We don't need help. We can do it on our own. How many of you ever seen somebody in the gym on a Monday night? International chest night, right? Got 225 on the bench. Don't want it. I don't need a spotter. I'm good. Next thing you know, plates are falling off. They're on a TikTok video, and we're making fun of them on gym fails, right? We got to be known to ask for help when we need it and get it. And that's why you're here. You're here to get some help for your business, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, we're going to start right away with the secret formula for success. Coming right out of the gate with it. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's got to be some like unbelievable formula. There's going to be some crazy thing that we're going to talk about today. No, I'm going to tell you this. It's so easy, an American can do it. All right? And I'm going to show you how we did it. The first thing is follow the system. Step one, and we're going to go through this today, is always look and review. And you need to remember these because it's going to come up here in a minute. Step two is then make revisions or revise exactly what you're doing. And then the final step we're going to spend a little bit of extra time on. Is it remarkable? Review, revise, remarkable. That's the formula. I know it's life-shattering, it's earth-changing, it's so difficult, you have to take a lot of notes, but it's really not. Follow the system, trust the process, and watch what happens. So let's dive into this a little bit because I said we're going to talk about being remarkable for a minute. How many of you feel as though that you operate a very good business? Don't be shy. If you don't think you operate very good, you have a problem already. How many of you have a very good business? How many of you think that you maybe are the best in your market area? Okay, some. Some people need to have some confidence here. Hopefully when you leave, you'll get to that point. This is the difference. Everybody's good nowadays. It's table stakes. Everybody's good. So when we talk about being remarkable, we're talking about taking it to the next level. And that's the theory of the purple cow. Has anybody ever heard of that book or read that publication from Seth Godin? It's a phenomenal book. Just to kind of set the tone for you, this is exactly what we're talking about when it comes to, is what you're doing remarkable enough? Imagine you're on the M40 that we took here? Was that the street we took, the M40? I was asleep, so I just got to tell you, I don't know if there were cows on that drive or not, but let's say we're on our way from London to here on the M40, and you go down a road, and you pass a field of cows. Now, all human nature, when you see cows, for whatever reason, they're very calming, and people get excited when they see cows. And they go, oh, look at the cows. And they see a field, and there they are. Now, in America, I know we're a little bit weird. And they see cows laying on the ground, and they try and figure out the percentage of rain. Did you guys ever hear that old wise farm tale, right? If X amount of cows are laying on the ground, it's going to be this percentage of that. So we see one field. You see black and white. You see brown and white. You see a couple cows. You see another field. After you see the first two, no big deal. You're just driving along. But now, what if, as you were driving, you saw this? What happens? Right? Stop the car. Why? Because you've never seen anything like it. And what do all of you do? You know what you do. You go get your phone, you jump out of the car, and you start taking pictures. And all of a sudden, that cow is an internet star, right? You're taking selfies with it. You hop over the fence. You try and get close to it. You try and figure out whether the thing gives you wine or not, right? Okay? And the reason you do that is because it's not like anything else you've ever seen. That is remarkably different. And that's what we're striving for when we talk about implementing strategic change in your business. So, review, revise, is it remarkable enough to make a difference? So that's the goal that we're starting with. So in today's lesson, our objectives is we're going to break down that top secret formula a little bit further. We're going to look at a couple case studies, one primarily that Dr. Paul mentioned, what we did at my time at World Gym, give you a couple other independent gym owner examples as well. We'll talk about practical application for all of your gyms when you head back next week. And hopefully by the time we're done, we've lit a little fire inside of you for 2025. So let's go back to step number one. Remember what it was, review. When you're in the review stage, it's important to make sure that you cover the following things. Look, where do we start? That's usually the biggest problem. Okay, I want to make this change, or I know I need to do something different with my business. What do I do? Where do I even start? A lot of times people start, okay, I'm going to paint the wall, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. No. You got to start at the very beginning. Remember that in your business, in your personal life too, you attract what you offer, right? Well, whatever you're putting out into the universe is what you're going to get back. Whatever you're marketing to the demographic, that's who's going to come into your gym. The way you build and design your gym, that's who's going to use it, right? And so when you're looking at implementing strategic change, you have to start at the very, very beginning. If I called on you today, how many of you could tell me the core values and mission statement of your gym business? There's like maybe 4 or 5 of you. Do you even have core values and a mission statement as a gym business? A lot of people don't think it's important, but guess what? It really is. It's the foundation of every successful business because it tells you who you are, what you're about. It's part of your culture. It's how you hire people. It's how you deliver great customer service. It's how you retain members. It's how you dominate a market. If you don't even have that, I'm going to tell you, step one, get it. Figure it out. Who are you? What do you represent? What does it mean to your people? What does it mean to you? Right? Start there. Branding and storytelling. Guys, marketing is nothing more than telling a great story. That's what it is. What story are you telling to your consumer? Do you even know who your target consumer is? I know a lot of people got into the gym business because they said, oh, the gyms around me, they're terrible. Me and my buddies want a place that we can work out. Me and my mates want to find a place. They don't have real weights, so we want really good machines, and we're going to put some free weights in there. And they go in and open a gym. I'm going to tell you the number one thing to not do is open a gym for yourself. Number one way to go out of business really fast is go, hey, I want to open a cool gym for me and my friends because there's no real good gyms around here, and we're going to build it the way I want it, and that's when you're going to go out of business. Because you have to understand if the consumer is going to pay you for it. Who is your consumer? Well, there's a lot of people out there that go, oh, we welcome everybody. Stop it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know that you've got a specific demographic or target of people that you go after. Now, yes, maybe you welcome people of all, demographic. Okay, fine, that's great. You all fitness levels, that's great. No problem. But is there 1 or 2 specific target demographics that your gym caters to? Do you know where they are? Do you know what their lifestyle habits are? Do you know where they shop, where they sleep, where they eat? You can do all that stuff nowadays with data. And I just broke the stage. How about that? So you can find things, and I know laws are different here, but I'll tell you what they could track on a cell phone nowadays, right? You can get a report. In some of my clubs, we do this. Okay, where are people going? We could get a report based on their cell phone tracking. When they come to the gym, where they go after. Do they go to the market? Do they go to the barber shop? Do they go home? And you could track exactly their patterns and find their movement patterns. It's really wild. It's really crazy. And it's really, really beneficial to your business if you have the ability to do that. But you got to know who you're looking for. So we got to spend time on our target demographic. And then finally, the operations and support. That really kind of comes last. Do we have everything we need internally to be successful externally? To go out and deliver a remarkable customer experience? Do we have the ability to create a remarkable facility? Right? It's not just about getting a great deal on gym equipment. Somebody out there, and I apologize, vendors, if I hurt you, but just because somebody gives you a great deal on a full gym of their equipment doesn't mean it's the right deal for your demographic. Not at all. When I see a gym that's kitted out in all one brand of equipment, I question the motive behind the purchase. Because is that really what the consumer wants and needs? We have a more educated consumer now than ever before. This thing called the internet, social media, has exploded to the point that people know brands. About 20 years ago, they didn't know the difference really between a leg extension, a core leg extension versus a Life Fitness, whatever. They really didn't have too much knowledge. Maybe your hardcore people did, but nowadays, they know. They brand shop. They look. So what are you doing? Do you know who your target is, and are you building and designing clubs to go after them? Review stage is very, very, very important because that's where you find out what you're really made of. But when you do this, guys, you have to be ready to hear the bad news. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. You know, you look at yourself, pat yourself on the back and go, yeah, man, we're doing great. Well, if none of you are maxed out with members, and if none of you are reaching your financial goals that you want to reach, no, you're not. Okay? Just be honest with yourselves. And if you find out things that you don't like, it's tough to hear. It's what you need to hear. You have to be understanding that the truth hurts sometimes. Actually, it hurts a lot of times, especially when it comes to your business. So instead of guessing, find out. If you've got a team, start with yourselves. Ask information. Your members, ask them. Do you do surveys? Do you ask them what they want? Give you a quick question. I knew, or a story, client was going to invest $200,000 in their locker rooms. All right, $200,000 US dollars into their locker rooms. It's because that's what the members wanted. They wanted new locker rooms. I said, did you ask them? No, we just know. Okay, cool. Let's do a survey. Let's ask them what they want. They wanted 2 treadmills. 90% of the surveys they came back, they all wanted they just wanted 2 treadmills. And they were going to spend $200,000 on a locker room refurbishment because that's what the members wanted. Now, they got the 2 treadmills and they made everybody happy, and they spent a little money and refurbed the locker room, so that's fine. But they didn't have to do that. They were going to make a giant financial mistake because they guessed and they assumed. Don't guess, don't assume, find out, talk to your staff, talk to your people. So let's see how we did this in a case study. Quick story on the World Gym. I was brought on as a consultant right before the pandemic. When I say we signed the paperwork, the next day, the world shut down. Welcome to the business, okay? World Gym, how many of you are familiar with that logo? You've seen that logo? I got to be honest with you, if it wasn't for that brand, most of you wouldn't be in this room today. It is one of the 3 original gym brands, iconic gym brands that really started the gym and fitness movement. You had Gold's Gym, followed by World Gym, and Powerhouse Gym. You're probably familiar with all 3 of those brands. They're legendary. They're iconic. They've got a rich history. Many years ago, when it started with bodybuilding, and then it got into the Hollywood movie stars, where you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and Franco Columbu and some of these guys, some of you are sitting there going, who? Right? That's our version of like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and C-Bum and some of those guys that exist nowadays. Right? This is where these guys were born. That's why these guys today are where they are today, because of brands like this. So when we took over, we were looking at how do we change this brand? How do we grow? It's been around for at that time it was like 43 years. It had gone through some ups and downs, but it was on its way down. Now you've got COVID, now it's really struggling. So as a team, we decided that we were going to play offense in a world that was playing defense. This was the perfect time to implement strategic change. When everybody else was sitting back waiting to see what happened, we were making plans for the future. And guess what we found out? We sucked. We were bloody rubbish, okay? We were terrible. And that is a hard truth for a CEO to hear. I got to go to him. He goes, what'd you find? I'm like, well, we're bad. We're really, really bad. Actually, I did say that. We suck. He's like, are you serious? Absolutely 100%. Because we got to face the truth. But now what do you do with that information? You have to figure out. Let me tell you why we suck. We had about 40 different versions of our logo. 40. Who the heck are we? The iconic gorilla that you would see on T-shirts and everything really didn't exist anymore. And they went and moved to some corporate logo. Okay, cool. I understand the need for that because it was softer. Do you remember years ago, some of you that have been around for a while, you couldn't say the word gym. It was too intimidating to people. You had to say health and fitness, or wellness center because people were scared of going to the gym. Well, guess what? The gym is back. The gym is really cool. The gym is replacing the nightclub as the place to go and hang out and meet people. And we had one of the most iconic logos in the world with a rich history, and we put it on the shelf. We benched it. So that was one thing. It was unbelievable. I'm just going to show you a couple things. We started to build new gyms. This was before me. And, okay, does that look like anything you're familiar with? It's kind of like an upscale CrossFit box, right? It's like, okay, you're World Gym, but now all of a sudden you're putting out boutique CrossFit-like studios and calling it World Gym Athletics. That's a lot of brand confusion. If I go to a World Gym, I'm expecting maybe a bodybuilding gym or a full big box fitness center, but then I walk in and I see that. What the heck did I just walk into? Right? These are things that we were finding out. Basically, at the end of the day, we realized we had a big identity crisis. We were World Gym, but we were also World Gym Athletics. Who were we? We didn't know. We had too many different identities. The people didn't know who we were. Well, what people? Who was our target demographic? We didn't even know anymore. The older generation, if you were 45 years plus, you knew who World Gym was. If you were like under 40, you were like, who? Who's Arnold Schwarzenegger? Right? Like, what? Who? Is it C-Bum? Is it right? Like, we couldn't connect to this demographic. And what happened during the pandemic? Didn't we start to see, as gyms came back, a gravitation towards strength training, towards bodybuilding? People were flocking back to the gyms. Why? They bought their Pelotons and they did their cardio at home, but they couldn't work out with the big weights, right? They couldn't hit the dumbbells. They couldn't hit the free weight bench. So they started coming back to the gym in droves. They needed that community. We started to look and see, hey, we need to figure out how to tap into that group of people before anybody else does, before our competitors do. So we realized we needed help, okay? And I'm looking around and I'm looking at our team. We had to make change. Change sometimes requires the ability to get rid of people who are holding you back, right? Help. Huge egos, less performance. If you're afraid to ask for help, whether it's a consultant, whether it's a vendor, whether it's a business advisor, whether it's your team, whether it's your spouse, you've got an ego problem, and you're usually going to underperform or run yourself out of business before it's too late. So don't be afraid to ask for help and get it. And that's what I did. I went and got rid of people, hired a brand new team, and we got to work. Yes, I had them go back and check my work. Say, okay, guys, here's my findings. I want you to do step one again and review. Once we did that, we got to revise. Now we got to get to work. What do we do in the revise stage? Well, we go back to the foundations. If you don't have those core values, remember, you got to start there. We went back and looked at ours. They hadn't been looked at in 25, 30 years. Nobody even knew what the mission was of World Gym. Nobody knew that they had core values. We had this whole document from 30 years ago. Nobody knew. Well, was it still relevant today? Did it still resonate with a new generation or who we wanted to go after? You got to start there. So these are the steps. Let's talk about them. Small changes can have a huge impact. You don't need to overhaul the whole thing like we're going to talk about here. You're going to see through other examples that little things have a major impact. But in this case, we looked at our foundations, we looked at our team, we looked at what we believed in, what was our message to the people, what did we want to say, who did we want to target. We had a rich legacy that we didn't want to completely get rid of. Some of you have been in your communities for years. You've got a great reputation. You don't want to lose that. You don't want to change your identity because you have a good reputation. So how do you make and implement these changes without completely forgetting who you are? That's a challenge. And especially with a legacy brand like this, that was a real challenge. Because as much as you want to go out and find yourself, don't ever lose yourself in the process, if that makes sense. You have to remember what got you started and where you are. The try before you buy. Now, some of us run offers like that in our gyms. 3-day trial, 5-day trial. Some of us do, some of us don't. But in this process, try before you buy means before you go make a really big investment in something or implement some big strategic change in the way you operate, do small things one at a time. Try them out, test them out. Paint one wall, not the whole gym. Try one process change. Change one communication. Change one, see how it works. Now, that doesn't mean drag it out over time, over a long period of time, but test. Try before you buy. Finally, are you looking ahead? We put a real emphasis on trying to be ahead of the curve. Again, playing offense when people were playing defense. What's happening? What are the next 2 to 3 years going to look like? Where are we starting to see social media go? Where are we starting to see this younger demographic that we want to target? What are they into? Can you start to look ahead instead of look at what other people are doing? See, that cracks me up. If you want to be remarkable, stop looking at what your competitors are doing. Oh, they got this machine, I got to get that. Oh, they did this program, so we're going to do that. Or they're adding this class, so we need to do it better. Stop chasing them. Forget it. Let them worry about you for a change. Go out and be a leader and not a follower. Go out and be remarkably different, and guess what? They'll start chasing you. That's the difference, and that's what we're looking for when we do that. And then finally, the ability to execute. Have you ever been in a meeting where you're there to talk about a meeting, to have another meeting, to talk about the meeting that you already had, to discuss the future meeting that you're going to... I mean, it's meeting after meeting. It's over meeting and under executing. Has anybody ever felt that way or been in a situation? It is the worst. My disadvantage was I was in a more corporate environment at this point, right? This is an international franchise. You're independent gym owners. You've got smaller teams. You don't have as much corporate red tape to deal with. You can implement change faster. You can try things quicker. You can adapt on the fly better. But make sure at the end of the day, once you start making things happen, go see them through and execute on the plan. So here's what happened with us. We had so much to work with. I'm just going to give you a couple examples of things we did. This was our color palette. We had gyms for 40 years that were the same color. They were red and gray, battleship gray, like submarine gray, where you walked in and it was depressing. But every gym was a different gray. We had 50 shades of gray, but not the good kind. Know what I mean? Like, it was terrible. It was unbelievable. It was like, and then some wild colors that came out of nowhere that had nothing to do with our brand. And we're going, where did these come from? I don't know. Thought they looked good. Guys, color has a really, really big impact on the member experience. What are you trying to do? It tells the story of your brand. So we kind of started here in one aspect as well. And we kind of trimmed it down. We tried some things. We said, okay, here's our main colors. We changed the gray to a silver. It was a little more shiny, a little more classy, a little nicer. But then we're like, well, we're World Gym. Can we change these bright colors to be like, you know, we are the world. So you got beach and you got sun and you got ocean. And we're like, guys, after we started looking at this, what are we doing? We're overcomplicating things. That is not who we are. So we simplified it. We just went right back to where we started. We changed the silver and the tone, and we changed the primary colors from red and battleship gray to black and silver. Now, black and silver, you go to a black tie affair, that's a swanky affair, right? You got tuxedo, dressed up, really, really nice. You can give a sign of elegance and sophistication. But black and silver could also be really, really badass, too. I don't know how many of you are familiar with American football to the point where you follow some teams, but there's a team called the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, now I'm a Philadelphia guy. The Eagles fans are known worldwide to be really, really crazy. I understand there's a bar in London that I need to go visit when I'm here this weekend, which I will do for the Philadelphia Eagles. But Raiders fans take crazy to a whole nother level. I mean, they're vicious, they're nuts, they're insane. They are raving fans, so to speak, okay? So black and silver can really emit a lot of different emotions. How you use them really plays into the message that you send. So all we did was go back to our original palette, make one small adjustment, and flip the primaries. And we had a whole new brand on our hands, targeting a new demographic of people. We made some tweaks to the logo. We started to paint some walls and look at how things went. We went from red walls to the black walls to trim. I'm not going to show you any crazy design stuff here today, okay? If you want to see design stuff, I got a whole slide deck on amazing club design that makes you different. But I'm just showing you basic things that make a big difference. Then we launched a new logo. All we did was add a little edge to it. Change the parameters a little bit, add a few details here and there, flip the colors, but kept our identity. Appealed to a whole new generation of people. It was classy, but it was edgy. We decided that, hey, since we have such a rich legacy of legends, we got to figure out how we talk to the new generation. So that became our tagline. You saw on the one wall, achieve legendary greatness. It used to be in every gym. Okay, cool. But it was like that for 40 years. Where did we go from there? We looked at our past to look at our future. You guys got to do the same thing. So building the next generation of legends. We positioned it that we were bold, we were beautiful, and yeah, we were going to be a little bit badass. We were going to have a little edge to us now. When you walked in our gym, you got a kick-ass workout, and when you left, you felt on top of the world. That's what we wanted. We knew that was going to resonate with that target demographic, so we started to implement all of those changes in the brand. We got bold with our designs. We created remarkable spaces and designs where people walked in and they go, did I just walk into a gym? What the heck? We streamlined the operation, all of these things, carbon fiber desks, lighting, retail, the whole thing. We changed the way we looked at everything from an internal operation. Okay, yes, we have to manage payroll. How do we build a reception area that we can do that without giving up, customer service and customer experience, without crazy payroll numbers? How do we maximize the revenue in the retail area? Most gyms suck at retail. They've got T-shirts and hats and tank tops, and most of you struggle to sell a few of those things. Most gyms, that's all they sell. We then changed to realize that the market, this target consumer, was spending $160 a month on fitness-related goods. That's U.S., $160 a month. The number one out of that 160 was the membership. They were paying more money for a better experience, okay? And then the second thing they were doing was buying cool workout gear. They were averaging $160 a month. And yet, many gyms are out there playing the low-cost game and going, people don't have money to spend. Yes, they do. They spend $10 on their Starbucks coffee. They spend them on their Nike Jordan, right? Their Air Jordan. They spend them on what they want, what they see value in. So we created spaces that they felt compelled to spend more money in. That's what we started to do. This was the first of two models we released. This was our signature model. When we revised, we changed the whole club dynamic. We didn't put just one brand of equipment in there. We went out and sought after the brands that were making sense to our demographic in the U.S., the target market we wanted, and what they wanted. We created this really cool studio concept called Studio X. Group fitness is changing. We had a cycle studio and a yoga studio, and there was a kids club, and people were changing the way they consumed fitness. We had to change the way we delivered it to them. So we designed new gyms to go after that. And Studio X was an all-in-one studio solution, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about in a second. So now that you had, this is a 25,000 square foot gym, so that's what, about, how many square meters? Somebody do the math for me. 2,500, 3,000, something like that, close to that, right? This is our bigger model. And Studio X was the first studio in the world, to combine not just, you see the workout technology, like the programs of the workout, the music, the lighting, and MyZone. So when your group hit their target heart rate, let's say, in the studio, the entire studio changed color according to the heart rate module. We worked hand in hand with MyZone so that everybody knew. How many people are sitting there, they're watching TVs, I'm watching my heart rate, but they're not watching the instructor, right? So now they don't know where to go. You didn't have to worry about that anymore. You knew just by the tone of the room when it changed whether 80% of the room or 90% of the room was in the heart rate area that you needed to be. But the music, the console, the programming, everything worked. We created our new high-intensity programming. It was called Incinerate. It was 8 different moves, 25 minutes. It was out before Les Mills, I'm just saying. And it was awesome. So then we had this entire group fitness, paid also training concept in this room. We cut it down from 4 studios to 1. Maximized the floor space for the gym that our demographic wanted, and just changed the way we delivered to our consumer. We brought the gorilla back. He was a legacy. He was an icon. He was on just shirts. Well, we brought him back to the gym. We put him on the platforms, and the Olympic lifting platforms. We did some cool things with the design. We made him a feature in the gym and brought him back. And then we did the unthinkable. We changed the world, and when I say that, I'm going to show you in a minute why I say that. This was our legacy model. This was 7,500 to 10,000 square feet, so figure what is about 800 square meters, somewhere in there, 900 square meters. It was strength only. No cardio. Now, you'll see a couple here because this is the one rendering before. But each gym only had a self-powered treadmill, a rower, and a self-powered stepper just for warming up and cooling down. I wanted to get shirts that say cardio sucks, but I didn't, okay? But this was the strength-only model, and everybody thought we were nuts. You're gonna do what? You're not gonna put any cardio in there? No, I'm not. It allowed us to go into markets that didn't have bigger square footage. It allowed us to appeal to a demographic that just wanted to come in and get after it. We knew who we were going after, and we were designing it to go attract and get them. So how did we tie it all together? Well, at World Gym, we had our convention, and we said, we got to figure out whether we hit step number 3, which was what? Is it remarkable? Are people going to talk about it? Did we accomplish and execute our goal? So we created our brand story. If you remember, that was part of number 2. Fix your story to tie in the old with the new.
In the early 1960s, one man set out on a mission to change the world by improving people's lives through fitness. And that he did. What started out as a small single location in Los Angeles, California, has exploded to become an iconic, globally recognized gym brand that has fueled the modern fitness industry for decades. During this time, World Gym has produced some of the most legendary and iconic bodybuilders, has shaped and sculpted the Hollywood elite, has inspired millions of workout enthusiasts to lead an active lifestyle and transform their bodies, and it has welcomed all who are serious about improving their health and fitness. Today, over 46 years later, a new generation has emerged. But our mission remains the same, to improve people's lives through fitness. We do this by continuing to be at the forefront of fitness innovation, while at the same time remaining true to our roots. We do it better because we've done it longer. Experience matters, and our years of experience have helped us formulate the right blend of people, technology, programming, environments, and equipment to better help all those who are serious about improving the quality of their lives and reaching their goals, no matter what those may be. It doesn't matter if you're 15 or 115, if you're an elite athlete or a weekend warrior, if you're an experienced gym goer or are just starting out on your fitness journey. World Gym is the place to make it happen. Why? It's real. It's authentic. It's legendary. Now, we've come back to the place where it all began to start a new chapter in our legacy. Los Angeles, California, USA. Hollywood. A gathering of longtime friends, owners, and family welcoming new ones to the fold. Assembling here on holy ground to look to our storied past to propel us into the future. We don't follow fitness trends. We set them. And we'll do that here, now, together, with new leadership, new ideas, new strategies, new partners, new technologies, a new resolve, all designed to continue our legacy for another 45 years and beyond. The torch has been passed from the legends of old who have inspired an entirely new gym generation. A generation who is counting on us to continue that legacy of serious fitness and provide remarkable gyms that get serious results. We are World Gym, and we're building the next generation of legends. The future is now.
And we launched that to the world. How did they respond? Did it work? Remember what step number 3 was it remarkable? And to figure that out, you have to find out, does it resonate with your target consumer? Are people talking about it? Are they going to copy you? Did you execute on all of the things that you desired to do? Well, I'll tell you what happened with us. We did. And I only showed you a few things. We had the new look. We had the new message and brand story. We did the upgraded logos. We had 2 new gym models. We had a new studio and programming. We added Booty Boulevard. Now, some of you like, what? Yeah, that's a trademark term, okay? At the time, right, you saw how glute training was starting to rise. There were people that had 3 or 4 machines or this or that. No, we were the first ones to go in and take the best pieces from about 12 different manufacturers and put them in an area and name it something other than glutes. Okay? Trademarked it, and as soon as we came out with Booty Bowl, we put these giant signs, people went crazy. Now you got all these other people, Peach Street and this and that, and they're naming these things. Why? Because we did it first, right? At the end of the day, we also launched a full lifestyle apparel line. We did a 16-minute full-blown fashion show. It wasn't just tank tops and T-shirts, and it was everything you could possibly imagine, activewear, the whole 9 yards. Under Armour heard about what we were doing and donated all the Project Rock footwear to the models for the show. That tells you we were onto something. When people come calling and knocking on your door. If you want to see more highlights from that event, you can look at the Escape Your Limits podcast. They highlight some of the stuff that went on. Did people talk? Yeah. This is just some of the stuff that happened once we announced it. Look at all those articles. Look at all those things. I got 32 press requests within 48 hours after doing this, launching these things. You're going to do strength only? What? The world went crazy. Did we hit our mark? Did we do something remarkable? We certainly did. One of the first clubs to open, this wasn't even open yet. This was kind of a hybrid between the 2 models that we were developing at the time. This was a VIP sneak peek night. We had a queue around the building. 560 people came that night. They waited in 110-degree heat, that's Arizona, for 2 or more hours outside just to come take a sneak peek. All of the competitors in that market were low-cost operators. We were 3 and 4 times more expensive than all of them were. And look at the line of people that we sold, that we had. We opened the doors within a 2-month pre-sale with just under 2,000 members at full price. People were talking. We were doing what we set out to accomplish. But now how about you? You say, Jarrod, that's great. You had a big international chain. You must have had loads of money. You had all that. No, we actually didn't have big budget. We just worked within what we had. What about you? Independent gym owners, here for a reason. We call it the small guy. Guess what, guys? I made most of my life consulting with independents. This is my favorite thing to talk about. How do you beat the big guy? It's the same formula. The same formula. Review, revise, and be remarkable. Here's a couple examples. This was a small town gym, Total Body Fitness in a small town, New York. 350 square meters, maybe. Partners broke up. Guy who literally went across the street, opened another gym, took half the members. This guy was going out of business. That guy was suffering. What did we do? We reviewed, we revised, we made small changes. We didn't go redo the whole brand, whatever. Guess what? 9 months later, his partner, who went across the street, out of business. A year and a half later, somebody came and bought the business from this guy because it was profitable, making money, and he's enjoying something else. Here's another one. This was in Florida. This was a business that was established in the late 80s. They were the only thing in town. 2 national chains came to town, basically wiped them out. The landlord now took ownership of the gym. Calls me, goes, I have no idea what to do. What do we do? This place was dying. We changed the brand a little bit, but this is what it looked like. Battleship gray. I don't know what it was with that color, but a lot of people loved it. That's what it looked like. This is just one area of the gym. We were able to spend some money, but we did it smart. We turned that into this. We were able to start doing programming now, small group training, right? Personal training. We gave the gym a whole new vibe, new look, new feel, new options to train after. Guess what? We continued to make renovations because that went well. By the time we were done 12 months later, the 2 national chains were struggling because we got all of those people back. They wanted that hometown feel. They liked the message we were sending and what we were doing. They knew we were reinvesting in them. We were changing, and we were doing it strategically, and we won. And it's the same thing that all of you can do as well. Maybe you know this one. Are you familiar with the Dragon's Lair? Home of the Welsh Dragon, Flex Lewis, 7-time Mr. Olympia 212. A year and a half ago, he calls me, he goes, mate, we're doing okay, we're just open, but something's missing. You know what? They had a great gym, had a great brand. People were coming and spending money and being there, but something was not right. Guess what the change was that we did? Follow the system, review, revise, remarkable. It was all internal things. It was the leadership. It was the core values, the mission, the systems, the process. We didn't spend any money on redoing anything except the internal components of change. And a year later, here we are with our logo on the side of one of the largest buildings in Las Vegas, for free, by the way, because we built such great relationships in the community and we're doing such great things. Here's the point I want to make to you when it comes to strategic change. It doesn't have to be huge like we did at World Gym. It can be internal. It can be small. It can be inexpensive. But guys, it can be game-changing for your business. If you're going to sit still and not do anything, well, guess what? We can't help you. Because change isn't easy. It's not. It's difficult. We get uncomfortable because it's with unfamiliar things that we do it. But the message today is it is absolutely necessary if you want to dominate in 2025. I leave you with this, another story. This is young Paul Bedford. You can tell him I said that. He's in his little garden and he's walking by and he sees this chrysalis and he's looking at the chrysalis and he sees it moving. He sees the little thing inside struggling and it's moving and pushing and it's going and he goes, you know what? I'm going to help it. Takes out his little pocket knife and he slits a little hole in it. And now the butterfly comes out. He just cut the hole and a butterfly comes out. He spreads its wings. It falls right down on the ground and dies right before his eyes. Why? Because a butterfly needs the struggle against the chrysalis to build enough strength to live and fly and migrate thousands upon thousands of miles. Little Paul Bedford robbed him of that. See, nobody's going to come in and save your business for you. You have to do it. The struggle is real, but the struggle is what makes you stronger. The struggle to implement strategic change is what's going to help you grow phenomenally your business this year and for years and years to come. So remember, you're at this critical crossroads today. When you're in these sessions, find ways to win. Find things that resonate with your consumer. Find ways to implement change in your business. And just know that when you leave here today, you can be either the crocodile or the monkey. You can be the eaten or the one doing the eating. If it's me, I want to make sure I'm winning all times out. Make sure that you do not get stuck in the cycle of repetitive, same old, over and over again. Be like everybody else. Go out there and be remarkable. And just remember, if I can do it, if my people can do it, you can do it too. So go be remarkable, people. Have a great convention.
Any questions for Jarrod? We've got about 10 minutes. Any questions? Always one.
Thanks very much for that, Jarrod, and
Yeah.
congratulations on what seems like some great work with World Gym.
Thanks.
Were there any specific areas that you felt were the most impactful? Because it looks like with World Gym you kind of did the full suite of things,
Sure.
so sort of processes, branding, etc. Was there any one element within that you found was the most impactful to the transformation?
Having the right team. You can't do it all by yourself. You're just not going to. How many of you are owners, like you're an owner operator, like you are the owner, the manager, the janitor, it's hard, okay? It's hard when you're in that position. I've been there. But the most impactful thing is getting the right help. Now, it could be hiring people. It could be bringing in somebody like me or Dr. Bedford or some other professional. But you need a team, because when you're looking at things only through your own eyes, you get tunnel vision. So one thing that made the biggest difference is having the right people. And that was in all of those locations, really. Being able to utilize the strengths of each team member to the best of our ability. But that would be my number one. Use your people. Use your people.
It was just a question, really.
Sure.
You talked about having a specific demographic for your gym, and I'm guessing you did loads of stuff, so you knew who that was. Even after you've done all this, even though you were after that demographic, did you see a change in your demographic?
Change, you mean, did we get success? Did we attract who we
Yes,
wanted to attract?
yeah,
100%. Absolutely. But the other thing we did, we didn't lose who we already had.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Did you add?
We were able to add on to it. Now, obviously, there's some friction, right? You've got some quote-unquote old-timers. They like things the way they are. They don't like change so much, all right? But you had to find ways to make it work. And, we did not lose any of the target that we had already had. We just gained immensely the new one that we were going on. We had to stop marketing to that older demographic because that wasn't our target, but they stayed.
Okay. Yeah.
The new ones came in like droves. So, but if that's your question, I will tell you that doesn't happen everywhere. You may lose some of your core people because change is not easy for them either, right? But you have to be prepared for that. Will the win offset the loss?
Yeah.
And that's something you have to figure out.
Yeah, that's what we do. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Any more hands in the air? Yeah.
How do you said that you select the equipment based on what the customers want?
Sure. No.
How do you go through that process? So, I mean, looking at the videos and everything, it looks pretty uniform to me. And in different regions, do you have the same brands across the World Gym? Is that a contract across the whole thing, or is each region different?
So great question. Internationally, it's a little different because of what's available. Could be logistics as well, getting a product from here or there. But it looked uniform because we did everything the same colors. We made sure that everything was branded the right way, that everything was cohesive and done the right way. But for instance, in both of those models, we went after more of the hardcore lifting brands because that's what our people were looking for. Arsenal, Hammer Strength, Prime. There was Panada. There were some of these other bigger, strong things that were more designed in the main weight room for the bodybuilding culture and the young group that we were going after. Whereas maybe in the circuit area or the pin select area, it might have been a Matrix Ultra circuit, and it might have been a little bit sexier cardio in the signature. So it's really about what look and feel appeals to that. The other thing I would tell you is I do look at what's around, right, in a sense of if you guys are familiar with Planet Fitness, okay, they're a big low-cost operator. They have contracts with, let's say, Life Fitness or Precor or Matrix. If I know what they have in a certain demographic, I may make sure I add a few different pieces to offset what somebody has there. But to your point, we try to be as uniform as possible, but some areas, we had to adjust based on the population. But when you look at the demographic, you kind of know what they're looking at. Just go on social media, you'll find out real fast what people are looking at. Now you got things like Max Pump and New Tech and all these things, that are coming out. Make sure you expand your horizons. Just because somebody gives you a good deal, and I know they hate me for saying it, doesn't mean it's the right fit for your gym. So take a look. And yes, spend more money. We'll finish this. This annoys me, and I'm going to call out gym owners. we're cheap, okay? We want a deal on equipment, and we want a cheap treadmill or this or that, right? But then when we go to do the same thing, when somebody comes and asks us for a deal on our membership, we turn them away. They're doing the same thing we're doing, right? We tell them, oh, guys, we're more money because we offer value. We offer this. We offer that. We're doing the same thing that the manufacturer told us. So don't beat up the reps, okay? They have value for a reason. Figure out what it is, how much value that has to your business, and spend a little bit more money and get the better product, and then hold your price, later on in the marketplace. So don't be a hypocrite, okay? Just when you go shopping for equipment. So anything else? I will be around. Let's have fika. Let's grab a pint. Let's sit and talk. Please feel free to connect with me. The first person that connects with me by sending a text on WhatsApp with their name, email, and address will get a special gift from Flex Lewis himself, the Welsh Dragon. So let me know. All right?
Thank you, Jarrod.